And we're here to talk about Bleach today.
Yeah, so gather up your cleaning supplies, because we're ready to clean.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Huh?
Oh, guys.
What?
It's not cleaning supplies. We're talking about the anime.
Oh.
What do you mean? All right, guys. Well, welcome to the Podcast of Madness. I'm Ben. This is Chris, our guest star. And we have Mike over here who's going to give you a few words.
Of course. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to the Podcast of Madness. Anywho. Real quick, as always, you can go to our Patreon account to support us. That's patreon.com/Collection of Madness, where you can check out blooper reels, exclusive content, and the Podcast of Madness exclusively on Patreon, except for this one, but after this one, it'll be exclusively on Patreon, so you can check all that out. Anywho.
That was a lot.
That was a lot, all in one breath. You can also, if you're here already watching this video, then you're already on the channel, so subscribe and like, because it really helps us out and YouTube's algorithm thingy, so tell a friend, tell a family member, tell your cat, tell your dog, and last but not least, make sure to give us a like on Facebook and Instagram. Check us out on TikTok and Twitter. Back to you, Ben.
Back to me. All right. So, Bleach. Not the cleaning supplies, to the anime. So, it's returned.
Finally.
And we're so excited about it.
We've been nerding out about it for weeks.
We have been. So currently we are on episode. What episode are we on? We're on episode.
It's going to episode 10 next week, where
10.
obviously we can't talk about it, so that's
right. Yeah,
reel it back in.
We've got some more exciting stuff going. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it now because it's amazing and it's really good. Especially if you ever watched the original series of like all the way up to the Fullbring arc and whatnot.
And we'll be spoiling the current episodes, obviously.
If you haven't watched the current episodes, it's your own fault.
We should also say why Chris is here too, because he did our last podcast with us.
That's
for
true.
Bleach, which is why I'm in the corner.
Yeah, we got rid of Mike. We put him over there. He came back.
Mike's just here to keep my seat warm for me.
There you go. No,
this whole entire time, Chris has actually been the co-host. I've just been
Mike's been filling in for me while
you
I've been
never knew it. It was there all the
I've
time.
been in the background.
Secretly doing everything all
Just
the time.
shimpoing my way around the studio. Making sure everything went right.
Flash stepping around. That was really badass in the last. I think it was the last episode or the 2 episodes ago, maybe, where Ichigo actually comes back to the Soul Society and they have the flash step. He's just like, he was just gone.
Oh yeah, and you know how serious it was when all the Sternberg were like, "Oh, we just
he just completely disappeared."
He disappeared, and all of them crapped their pants at the same time.
No, that was
there was a
really
realization at that point. That they might have messed up.
They might have fucked up.
They might have screwed up just slightly.
Mistakes were made.
Choices were made. They had consequences. Not all of them were good.
All right, so out of the episodes that have been released, which one has been our favorite so far?
I gotta say the last one.
The last
where
one?
he popped up. Or no, that was the second to last one.
Was that the
where he
second
popped up? I believe so. Just because that was so cool. Learning, and I called it.
Yeah, it
also,
was the second to last one.
I did call it because spoilers ahead. I knew that he was part Quincy somehow.
Yeah,
but yeah,
because he was using the Sternblut.
Yeah.
Mom, are you talking about before that though? Before you used the blue vein, when you were like, "Oh, he's got to be a Quincy."
Yes, before that.
Yeah.
Oh, how about Ginjao and company, the Fullbringer?
Right. Yeah,
showing up out of nowhere.
That was interesting because was that in the manga?
That was not in the manga.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was not in the manga.
So that's the one thing I think we'll probably end up want to talk about is what was added and removed, because there have certainly been a lot of changes. Well, not a lot.
There have been
some
little ones.
changes.
Yes. Yeah.
Some I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally cool with it. And some I'm like, I wish they would have added it.
Well, what was Chris? What was your favorite so far?
You're asking me to decide between my favorite children almost at this point. No, it's hard.
How many kids do you have?
I only have 2, in all fairness.
Which one's your favorite?
That is a discussion that is left in privacy, for I will not have the internet scolding me. No, so it is definitely difficult to say because every episode.
The correct answer is there are no favorites.
There are no favorites. But there's almost no favorite episode of Bleach. I mean, it's like one of those things where
they were all.
I honestly do agree with the pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've removed excess fluff, and I'm like, good, you got to what I want to see.
Right.
But then there's some stuff that and maybe we'll talk about this a little bit later on, where it's like, oh, you remove this, and it's not necessary to drive the story, but it definitely would have added some mythos to it.
Gotcha.
There's a few things I want to talk about, regarding the hot springs and everything.
Oh yes, yeah. That was definitely. What did you think about the reveal of Squad Zero?
Yeah. That was interesting.
Did you know that there was a Squad Zero, or did you like have any hints that there was another?
There's
squad
points
coming?
in like where they hinted throughout the anime, the the original anime. I think so that they were talking about Squad Zero.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, through the anime it was sprinkled out, and that's honestly an interesting point. Like, what were your expectations? I guess because I know the fandom as a whole when we were reading the manga, everybody had this like ridiculously high bar, and then we're like, this is what we got.
Right.
Until you see them in action, it's like, oh, okay, it's
yeah.
like the.
But what was your favorite, Ben, so far?
Oh, my favorite is definitely the fact that we're getting, the old Kenpachi and then the new Kenpachi fighting each other. That is so.
Yeah.
Especially like now at this point where you're like, holy shit! Now I know why everyone's like so scared and terrified of her when she's like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm just here to help." Like
okay,
you were the
Mom,
most
listen.
vicious murderer in all of the Soul Society of all time.
Well, it's relatable too because it's like when your mom gives you like the mom look when you screw up. It's like, oh yeah, no, you back down.
You will not be doing that today. You're like, oh no, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, back down, man.
So why don't we go through what each so from the beginning? So like what were like you said, what were we expecting out of this new like from episode 1 when the first the beauuful artwork showed up and everything? I mean, what was the first
I loved
thought?
the reintroduction to the characters, but not like a recap, like you said. And I also did appreciate how they even did a quote unquote recap by just having it in the credits, like all the different scenes that just kind of brought back the memories of the things that you've already saw without having to sit there previously on Bleach. They have 2 episodes sitting there recapping, and you're like, I've seen all this.
Yeah. That is nice. Like it is nice when they touch on points of like flashbacking to the previous series.
Oh yeah,
literally just like a quick few seconds and they're done.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
And I am happy that they just like, okay, we're going to assume you saw it, so we're just going to quick go through the introduction and be done with it.
It's an actual continuation, not like a whole new. Oh yeah, by the way, this happened in here 12 years ago when we first started this whole series.
Here are the characters you know and love.
Yes. Yeah. I definitely love the new intro too. The new intro looks absolutely amazing. I love the whole artwork. It's really good.
Yeah, the music's cool.
The music is great. I love the nods to the original music soundtracks too. Like they're there, but very different.
Yeah, the remixes are done just perfectly to where you get the nostalgia feel, but it's still fresh and new.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
So being manga readers as you are, what have you noticed that is similar and what have you noticed that's different, and no spoilers?
Okay, so with no spoilers, I'll talk about what's aired so far, and I'm not going to go beyond that, but there are like little nuances.
My brain is a little more fuzzy because I only read the manga once, and that was when it actually released. So
how could you?
So I remember certain things, and then other things I'm like, wait, really? Oh, okay.
You're not a real fan.
I know.
I'm a real fan. You would have reread it before it aired. Every year with the hope it was going to come
There you go. Every year.
Every year
Yes.
you hope.
I do want to reread it at some point, but I think I'd like to get the actual physical books than trying to read it on my phone. Because a lot of times, especially back then, I had no idea what I was looking at. Like I'm like looking at the paint. I'm like, is that a person? What is that? I don't know what's going on here. It was very hard to understand, but maybe if I had the printed copy, it would make more sense.
Just well, I'm not going to talk about the websites that would you can illicitly look at them at and get in trouble for.
They are out there. I'm sure
there.
You guys all already know about them.
And I'm not going to help the internet.
There are illegal websites out there that have the whole manga on it?
What?
Who would put that on the internet?
Who would do such a thing?
Monsters.
Monsters. Terrible monsters.
Horrible people.
So anyways, things that are, in the anime that aren't in the manga and vice versa. Definitely the Fullbringers is the first thing that came to mind. I was like, what is he doing here? What are they doing here?
Yeah. That was definitely not in there at all. You're right. And then, well, there's also like
I have so many questions. Like, why? How? I thought he died.
Yeah, there were so many. Well, and I will say, going back to the art real quick,
unless Orihime just like, he back.
I will say, going back to like the art and everything too, like those little touches they added in. So obviously, like when Ichigo's standing there, like after he's done talking to Byakuya, the manga can't capture the fact that the water's literally steaming off his body because he's that mad. And that little touch, as subtle as it is, sells it so much more.
Yeah.
Especially like the fact that his spiritual pressure was just consuming the air around him.
It's just like who was it out of the Quincy guys that was like they couldn't even like contain or like sense his spiritual pressure was being sent so much
Well,
that they were just like,
so
what's
it was
going on?
every Quincy, like as soon as like, and okay, I guess we'll be slightly spoiling the episode a bit. So when he first breaks out of Quillgate's jail, and then he like just beeline straight for like Shaz Domino, blows him into oblivion.
Yeah.
It was literally every Quincy that was there, the main 16. The fact that they just, like I said, collectively crap their pants.
Right, yeah, collectively crap their pants.
They're like, oh, what is this? And then, of course, like they're all like, we should probably go home now.
We should probably go
obviously,
home
they
now.
all sense, and then it immediately disappears. So, like, why is this going on?
Yeah, they all freaked out because he apparently. It also shows like how much Ichigo has grown. The fact that he was able to suppress his incredibly massive spiritual pressure to literally nothing that the Stern Ritters could feel. Like that's ridiculous.
Not even just suppression, but the fact he was able to sense like the spiritual pressure of everybody that was dying.
Right? Yeah.
Because he used to suck at that so much.
Right?
In the
Yeah.
original
Yeah.
series.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, he usually could tell when his friends were in danger. Like that was always never a problem. But the fact that he could do like
sense everybody that was dying, he wasn't really.
Yes.
Not until at least after Don Guy did he like really master that ability.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. It's also one of the other things I'd like to bring up is the fact that he's been in his Bankai, outfit the entire time.
Yeah, true.
This entire time.
It's weird. Like he took it off, went in the hot spring, then put it back on.
Yeah. Yep.
And you brought up a good point too when we were talking last time. I completely forgot that Ginjal took his power.
Yes.
And
took his full bring. Yeah.
Took his full bring, but it was Rukia that stabbed him
and brought back
Yep. That. So now is that the same power from when she stabbed him in the first episode?
No. It
is a completely different power.
And if not, why am I not getting a hollow mask?
So there's actually a theory out there and an explanation. I don't know if it was ever revealed in an interview, but so when he got his powers back after everybody gave him the spiritual pressure, you notice like if you take notice, he's got like a lot of like the full brain aesthetics to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the theory is that he doesn't need to pull a hollow mask because his hollow powers are incorporated in his.
So I was going to say that my understanding of how it worked is that when he learned full bring, like yes, his powers were taken away, but when he learned full bring, he learned how to manifest his inner powers outward. And so when he got stabbed with the thing and became a Soul Reaper, he was able to reduplicate that same ability to bring out his full potential all the time. So basically, he has like hollow powers integrated.
As much as anime likes to explain things, explain that,
right? Yeah.
So he never technically lost his power. Like Rukia said, like you took like just a small sliver of what had come to the surface. The power deep down was never taken.
Right. Yeah.
And because of all the training he did as a full bringer, with like his physical strength alone was just boosted because of all like the push-ups and sit-ups he did with Genjao.
Oh yeah, all the training and combat.
So his default physical form boosted his Shinigami stats then too.
Yeah,
which helped make him more OP.
Correct.
Than he already was. Because I remember seeing that episode too was fantastic when he first got his powers back.
Yeah.
and Genjao's like, man, like your Getsuga
Tensho got way more powerful. It's like that was just me swinging my sword.
I was just trying to get the feel for it again.
And then he does an actual Getsuga. And he's
blows
like,
the entire building
away, and his hair's like,
yeah,
I need new pants.
And that's why all the opponents were brown.
And that's why I love like to bring up the art again. Like in that arc, the Fullbring arc. I thought that art was peak, but I thought it was a little too like kind of colorized, I guess. Now this seems like a perfect blend of classic Kubo, but with more colors out. Definitely.
I'm appreciating the new art style. Some of the like I don't care so much for like the chaotic like when he first does Getsuga in the first episode. I didn't really care for the chaotic look just because it didn't really like match like the previous like the way they've shown Getsuga before. It was still really badass and amazing, and I was like, like nerding out because of it. But like, it just didn't follow the same. Because Getsuga has always been like, wispy,
like moon, almost.
Yeah, always has been like that. Not like this chaotic thing shooting out everywhere. So,
well, you said one of your favorite parts too was like attention to detail. So the stoplight.
Yeah,
the green when it changed and like the actual like the little lines inside of it.
I
thought that was
definitely.
really good.
Like, the whole detail, especially like so we watched it in 2K. I don't know if anyone else had been able to have the advantage of watching it in that detail.
For anybody else, I'm not as high end as he is, so I feel your pain.
But if you look at it in that high quality, like the scenes with like the city and stuff, it is so detailed. Like we were watching it on the big TV and in 2K, and it was just like, Whoa.
The whole thing's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like from like every episode.
Did I
it's
say
been-
2K? I thought it was 4K.
No,
Well,
I've-
it should be 4K.
4K,
but-
yeah.
I mean, every
I don't know why I
episode-
said 2K.
Every episode.
I have
is
4K.
absolutely
I'm not a
gorgeous, though.
peasant.
I'm the peasant. Okay.
I'm not
That's what children will do to you. You can't afford nice things all the time.
Excuse me. But yeah, the
me, I have to
4K,
feed
yeah.
them.
But seeing the just like you could see so much like how much detail they got into it, and like it's just amazing like
Yeah.
And
how incredible
you
it
can
looks.
tell like the artists like on every episode so far, like they all have put their hearts into it.
Oh yes, definitely,
Like,
definitely.
they're all carefully crafted. Beautifully.
very,
Yeah.
very.
very beautifully.
There's a lot of hard work that goes into all of that. Definitely loving the art style and everything. I can't wait for what's to come.
No
too.
Dragon Ball Super, episode 5 so far, which I'm happy about.
That
No,
was
none of
the
that.
worst
Episode
thing I've
ever.
ever seen in my entire life.
They got the intern to draw that episode that day.
Goku literally looked pixelated.
He did.
No.
How did a pixelated character show up in a non-pixelated art style? We'll never
Mega Man,
know.
what are you doing here?
It's like, really, like, when did that happen?
But with that, moral arc coming up soon. Anyway, back to Bleach.
Oh, you don't have to talk about
Back
that.
to Bleach.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, so that's definitely exciting. Is there anything else that you noticed from that was not in the anime, or that was in the anime that wasn't in?
Yeah, and like I said, there were a few talking points, and this isn't going to be a spoiler because I'm not talking about an episode that hasn't come out or anything content that hasn't come out.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say, like, obviously, you haven't watched the show so far, you're going to be spoiled.
Right. Yeah.
So,
But that's your own fault.
Yeah, that's my fault.
It's
I'm
out.
not-
It's there. Go watch it.
I'm not to blame for your lack of watching. Sorry, not to be
I find your
conceited.
lack of
Not to be
watching
mean.
disturbing.
No, so I don't know if you remember from the manga, like when
The anime.
when Ichigo and Korinji were in the hot springs.
Yes.
The conversation was actually a little bit more drawn out than obviously what it was in the anime.
Right. Yes.
So
I did know that those were shorter, but I did not remember like all the details.
So
that
I
they
mean,
were
I'm not
doing.
going to go into the whole like Peaches joke with Korinji just because the internet's for that. People can go find it. I'm not going to ruin it for you. This is family friendly.
Don't do it illegally.
There's just a Peach joke in there somewhere. That's all you need to know. But
about that.
yeah, no. What I actually want to talk about the important thing. Yeah, no, okay. So the Peaches is just Rukia's butt floated to the top of the hot spring. That's all you need to know. That's not the important thing.
This is supposed to be PG.
PG, I'm
now
not
we got Rukia's ass in here.
It's her butt on the screen. No.
No.
I'm letting the viewer find that.
I'm letting the viewer
doing it
find
for
that
you.
themselves. Read the manga, man.
Read the the manga
Read the
has
manga.
it. I'm sure the internet's expanded on it. Whatever.
Moving on.
No, the talking point I wanted to bring up is that like with Korinji and Ichigo mentioned like, hey, these hot springs seem familiar to Ohara's.
Uh-huh.
And
Right,
Yoroichi's
yes,
and
yes.
like in their basement playground and whatnot, their training grounds.
Yeah.
And Korinji mentions like, oh yeah, Yohara like came and studied my hot springs and based his design off my hot springs.
Yep.
Like
That's correct.
again, it's not anything that drives the story forward, but it's a cool little piece of mythos
Right, yeah.
that they didn't include. And
I
then like
actually completely
another
forgot
thing I
about that.
remember, which I'm okay with them shortening this because obviously we got a longer Ichigo Uwatch fight, which
Yep.
hands down will not argue. So during the fight with Yoha and Captain Yamamoto, so while they're going back and forth during their fight, Yamamoto brings up a point about like, I know why you can't steal our Bankais. Like he had a theory.
Yeah.
And his theory was like, you can't steal a Bankai that isn't fully developed or that you do not understand.
Right.
And he's like, you can't steal my Bankai because you never saw it to its full extent.
Right.
And you fear Ichigo's Bankai because it's not developed. And then Yuash is like, no, that's not why. And then he steals
Yeah,
Captain
yeah.
Yamamoto's. Is like, nobody's strong enough to take yours. And that's when they allude to like, Ichigo's a different story, but they never hint
Right,
why.
yeah.
But that's the first hint you get that there's something different
Right.
as to why they
Right,
can't
yeah.
take it. And I understand why they cut that out partially to expand the Ichigo fight, but then
Little
obviously
voice
you don't
eating
want
at the back of my head.
you don't want to ruin the obvious like surprise of, oh, by the way, like Ichigo's a Quincy. Spoiler,
Right.
sorry.
Part Quincy.
Part Quincy. He's not full Quincy.
Speaking of being him being part Quincy, how about our resident Quincy? What's going on with him?
With Udio.
we can't really talk about it. Without
We
giving
can't talk
anything.
about
That's the
Ishida
whole
right
problem.
now.
Why can't we talk about Ishida?
Because
There's
reasons.
an important reason for it for later.
Listen,
Oh, and I will say to anybody watching, you need to pay attention to every story element that's being revealed because the manga does such a great job of bringing everything back through the anime. It's going to do that with the anime too.
Yeah.
It brings back every talking point that's like brought up in every episode, so you need to pay attention to
Oh
it.
yes. There's gonna
There
be
are a lot of great callbacks.
There's going to be a lot of aggravation at Kubo trolling you, and there's going to be a lot of, like,
Celebration
Kubo,
and
like,
joy.
what? This is amazing! amazing.
Yeah, like it's gonna be like, I can't believe they actually called back to this.
Right? Yeah.
So it's gonna be great. So you have to pay attention.
So how do we feel about spoiler head captain?
Head captain. Well, we already have seen the head captain die.
Unless
And we
Kubo's gonna just troll the shit out of me again, and he just comes back to life.
he comes alternate dimension, Yamamoto.
Yeah, no, he came from a different time. Like, they needed his help.
We went back in time, grabbed him as a kid. I don't know.
I mean, I like Captain Yama, but he wasn't my favorite captain.
Yeah, like I don't
will-
know. He was definitely a badass. That's
Oh no,
for
he was
sure, but,
amazing.
like,
I mean, to see his Bankai for
just
the
to
first time in the manga
that
and
whole,
then see it animated
whole battle, like
was so great.
so good. Especially when he activated his Bankai and everything was just like, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? You're like, holy.
And that's the thing. Like reading the manga is like you're like, holy crap! Like this is ridiculous what you're seeing, and then getting to see it animated is so much better.
I know, right?
Especially expanding on the South. I can't remember the full name. Sorry, but when he brought back his entire dead army, you watch
Right?
entire dead army.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
let your army kill you. The way you trampled them down, it's like it's fantastic.
Right? Yeah, 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 definitely.
It's such a brutal Bankai.
I know, especially like just even the fact of like the way his sword reacts, like just like.
Yeah. Well, now I guess there's my question.
But
How did
and
you
that
feel
was
about
another
it too,
thing.
Mike?
So like,
because you had never seen it either
I
until the anime came out, so you had no expectation.
I freaked out. I had
believe it.
This was my reaction.
it was fun to watch him.
I can't believe it.
That was my reaction the whole entire
Is that
time.
like your same reaction to like
See-
the Bankai's
see-
getting stolen too? Was
See,
like, what?
that's the advantage is we've been watching the episodes together, and my part of my fun is just sitting there and like taking
Seeing
a
his
look
reaction,
back,
sure.
looking at reactions of
Because
both
we
him
know
and my
what's
wife.
gonna happen.
Watching. Yeah,
I'm still having like
I know what's coming.
And I think that's the craziest thing too, and like why I like it so much is because I know he knows. So I'll look out of the corner of my eye and I'm like, something's about to
Well,
happen.
that's what I love.
And that's the thing. I try not to look, but I'm like,
You know. Well, that's the thing. Like, for us, it's great because every time the episode airs, it's like, did you see what happened?
you know, right?
Like, we know
yeah,
what's coming.
yeah, we
It's
know.
Yeah.
exciting. Cause
But
it's like,
seeing it come to life is just
So
a whole
great.
nother level.
I think like in the like what you're saying though, like in the first episode though, I was confused because when the first Quincy shows up, they made comedy out of it, and then he ends up just being this crazy freaking strong Quincy guy,
Right, yeah.
in Hundo Mucolo, and it's just like what.
Wikamundo.
yeah, his
What-
name's
why is
OP,
that-
but he's like OP.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that make any sense?
Yeah, yeah. It was
Well,
definitely-
and then Kubo actually told him to like kind of cut back a little bit on the comedy. There's actually a lot more comedy in the
oh
manga
yeah,
than there is
yeah.
in the anime.
definitely,
Okay.
yeah.
Like the Peaches thing is like an actual comic moment that's in
right,
there.
yeah.
And then Cone's actually sprinkled. There was a lot more comedy involving Cone.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah,
did this
definitely.
whole like ridiculous thing with him running through the squad whole barracks with everything they
Yes.
were doing to him.
Like, what are you
They still captured each. He goes like, "Oh, you're here. I don't care."
I know. I like how they added that scene just for the sake of adding that
Oh,
scene.
well-
Like they're like,
well, they did remove some of it too, because like I remember when Yuhar like calls them.
like he
and,
literally
they pop
just
out
walks
Cone's
over the
head.
door just to see Cone running by and then walks back. It literally had nothing to
Well, do you
do with
remember
what
the
was
manga
going
when Mayuri was trying to shut Cone off the video? He was stabbing him in the eyes. It's like stabbing the eye button. So he's stabbing Cone in the eyes, like Cone in the eyes. And Yuhar's like, "No, I disabled that feature. Sorry,
I disabled that feature.
I did it remotely. So good luck."
That's funny.
Like Cone,
That's
Cone
great.
gets horribly abused through the first half of this arc. You feel bad for him.
Now, I wanted to touch back to the head captain fight real quick because I don't remember this entirely. Like I said, it's been a while since I read it. But am I correct, or I could be completely wrong, and you can tell me that. But when they did the fight and he gets cut by his own Bankai, didn't he just like vaporize, like incinerate?
Oh, you mean when he Royd Lloyd?
When you watch like cut him, he just like didn't he like poof?
No, Yama didn't poof or anything.
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
I don't know why, but I thought he like
Yeah,
know
no,
like
so-
the
so-
snap
no,
where he
but,
just
like,
like
when Roy-
disappeared and
No,
disintegrated.
but when Roy tried to actually attack him when he first used, I think it was East or West, the one where it's concentrated in the blade, and like he barely missed him. You just see like his cloak literally got like sliced in half. He's like, "What?" Because he's like, "This didn't even come anywhere near me." He's like, "Yeah, no, the heat from my blade's going to extend, and it's just going to cut everything in half."
right? Yeah, yeah. That's so ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
It was great. Well, yeah, so sure. Of course, when he uses the Bankai, water dries up. He's like, "You can't." That had at least been like the one advantage of Toshira's like, you can't use my Bankai either now, at least.
Right, yeah. Like, you can't use mine either, because there's no water left.
Really, nobody can really use their
Which
Bankai
is ridiculous, because his Bankai and his ability is literally the ability to control all of the water in the air.
That's why he never used it, though.
Right.
Well, no, sorry, that's why Yama never uses Bankai, because it literally crippled everybody else.
Right, yeah, pretty much. It's like, everyone else is going to die now. Boom. Yeah. I mean, you just like think about how long it took him to like. Where did he even train for all of that? Like, where could he have trained where he didn't kill everyone?
Probably in Mugen, just because it's like its own cutoff dimension where it's infinite space.
The mirror
really
dimension.
Whatever dimension exists in Central 46. That'd have to be the only place he could go.
For real, yeah.
Because you can't train anywhere else, or you're not going to wipe out all life.
Whoops,
my
bad.
Unless he's just using Jigen and just like he's just training in his inner world. That's the only way he can do it.
Maybe, yeah.
That's the only other way he could do it.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. So, what do you think of the new head captain, flower print guy? Why can't I remember? Shunsui. Yes.
Is that for me?
Yes,
yeah.
That's for you.
I kind of actually, calling back to the original series, I actually figured he would be a head captain at some time.
Yeah.
Just the way he carried himself.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but it was actually kind of interesting to see young Shunsui in the flashback. Was that in the manga as well?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
So they kept that part because it was kind of integral to okay, this is how like serious it was for Yama, and then after like they got rid of the Quincy's, he's like, okay, I need to stop like murdering everybody and actually take care of these people.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe stop being less of a jerk and actually care for the people under me. So
I should care for the people.
That was an interesting point because I'm assuming it's probably his like this man's falling asleep. I mean, in all fairness, we're not letting him talk, but like when his the vice captain like got to make the painting, I'm assuming he's the one that did it.
Yeah.
Which that flashback with like the original Gotei 13 was fantastic because that was not in the manga.
Yeah,
that's anime exclusive, and that was great.
Definitely
to see that.
Yeah, and I definitely think like it just goes to show. I guess I didn't realize how long he's been with head captain, and that's why they have that relationship and dynamic with each other. And definitely one of the reasons why he was probably chosen as the next head captain.
I don't know if it was just because of that or if it was because like the options were kind of gone because like Byakuya was technically would have technically be dead at this point. Like because I was Byakuya in terms of like kind of how he carries himself and how he's very strict with like kind of the rule and order.
Right.
Because Shunsui's great. Like it's especially funny like seeing how laid back he is with Central 46 because he's like, well, either do it my way or you die.
Right, yeah.
Like, Byakuya would have probably played a little bit more by the rules.
Right, yes, yeah, definitely.
So I would have figured he'd be next in line, but obviously with him being dead and, like, all the other choices.
I also like how he's, like,
crippled or...
He's like, well, I need to train up this Kenpachi because what if he's too powerful? Like,
do you want to die?
Die? Or get him trained? Those are your options.
Well, I love the metaphor. Like, I know another YouTuber uses, like, it's kind of like the Godzilla effect where, like, you see those old Godzilla movies where they're like, we don't like Godzilla because he'll destroy us, maybe? But maybe we need Godzilla to beat Mothra. So it's like, do we worry about Godzilla killing us all and hopefully
stomping on us by accident or something?
Or do we just let Mothra wipe us all out?
Right? Yeah.
The Godzilla protocol.
What's the less of two evils?
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
It's
like they may not come back.
Yeah.
We might need a Kenpachi somewhere along the way.
I also didn't know that the original Kenpachi. I didn't catch that in the manga. Maybe I just didn't read it right or what. But that her name was Kenpachi Yoruichi?
Yuichiro.
Yuichiro?
So Yuichiro...
And Yuichiro is his lieutenant's name.
Yeah, so he named Yuichiro as like a namesake, basically.
Uh-huh.
Because of how much he admires Unohana.
Gotcha.
Because obviously, like anybody who saw the anime, and they say this in the manga, those two major scars, they're literally the only two people who have ever given each other that kind of scar. They've taken injuries, but never anything that devastating.
Yes.
Which is like where part of their respect comes from for each other.
Correct, yeah. Which is still crazy.
No, I mean...
I just love how he's kept this secret the whole time. But he had hints, too, like, everyone being
afraid of her. But yeah, it's like, okay, well, she's probably scary, powerful, and she's got the mom face, so...
She's got the mom face.
Don't make Mom angry.
I love the way that she... Like, it's so different and weird because you're used to seeing her the other way with her hair in the other way.
She's
but
she's kind of nurturing, and then it's like... Yeah, like she literally looks like a demon out of like Japanese. Like she looks like a demon out of like a Japanese film or something.
Right? Yeah, definitely. She's ready to like
just all in her eyes just go full demonic.
I
mode,
know, right?
just like slightly lower in the eyelid. Just like,
Yep.
I remember reading the manga. It's like this woman's out for blood.
This woman's out for blood.
200,
She's
one
gonna
of these.
mess you up. Ding ding.
Ready, fight!
Yeah, I also like. It's very interesting, like how quickly she just defeats Kenpachi when Kenpachi was like full, no eye patch, nothing, just like I'm going full
Actually,
out on
were
this.
you
And
shocked by that too? Because like, did you expect the fight to go longer? Or were you like, oh, he got on like 2 sword swings and then that was it? Like,
Right.
Oh, when
because
she stabbed him.
Well, obviously, because you didn't know any of this stuff, so you get to see it for the first time. Like,
Yeah,
your reactions to everything probably have to be like, I
did.
cannot believe this.
it did. Ask him when
Yeah.
Rukia and Renji and brother's name.
Byakuya Kushi.
Byakuya.
Did you have like a man tear
When
rolling
Byakuya
down?
died, I was like, he did not just kill him. He didn't. It's impossible.
He was
That
mad.
was such a
He
huge-
was literally mad.
really,
was
really mad.
Physically mad.
And that was such a huge controversy in the manga because like the manga chapter ended with his death,
Yes.
supposedly, and everybody's like the
What?
whole fandom lost.
Yeah.
I know.
I remember that too because it was on like a break too, so it was like 2 weeks where like the whole fandom just like
I
lost.
know.
It.
You're like,
I gotta
Yeah,
say,
it was
go off.
split.
Yeah.
the best part, I've called 2 things so far from before the anime started. One was Ichigo being a Quincy, and the other one was Aizen's return. So now, I am quite intrigued what happens with Aizen.
But we can't say that's the problem.
I'll say he sits in a chair, but we've already seen him sitting in a chair. So
I mean, well, I did talk about Chair-sama a little bit.
I'm
I'm not gonna spoil
forgot
Chair-sama,
about
but
Chair-sama.
Chair-sama has a role too, technically. Chair-sama is very important to the story.
I also like how he's just like messing around with you watch when he visits him. He's like, I'm gonna make time different.
I want to have a friend to talk to, so I'm going to make you think you spend less time with me, so I have somebody to talk to. I mean, he's lonely.
He's like, you've been here for
trapped in
4 days.
He's just sitting there like marking like the wall with like a little laser out of his eye or something. Like,
I don't know. Who knows?
he's just counting the days away. Like nobody will visit me. I don't know why.
He's making little tiny black coffins
Probably.
out of Kudo.
He's practicing keto. He's like
Keto.
looking at stuff. Maybe he made a keto friend.
He made a keto friend.
He learned how to make.
This is my Shakaho. I call him Billy. Billy, no, stop it! Don't explode on the floor.
He always knows how to light a fiery passion in my heart whenever he's around. Dad joke for the day. Terrible dad joke for the day for you.
That's great.
You're welcome.
While we're here, do you want to hear a funny dad joke that I heard?
No.
All right.
Let's go.
What do you call a girl with no arms on a swing?
Oh dear.
A gorilla or girl? What did you
A
say?
girl.
A girl?
Yeah, what do you call a girl on
I
a
have
swing with no
guess
arms?
for this.
I don't know.
Sarah. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Not Sarah.
Ouch!
Oh,
Ouch!
poor Sarah.
Ouch! On that terrible note.
This man.
Wow.
We went really dark really quick.
Wow.
We went so dark so quick.
Oh man.
Poor Sarah.
That's terrible. Is there any other things we should touch on here?
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of things to
There,
but we don't
yeah. We want without getting into spoilers. Is there anything else that we can discuss that without like
Get into spoilers.
We're not doing spoilers. We're not mean
Please.
like that. No.
the show ends and everything was a dream?
Okay, see, we had to wait. There you go. It's Inception.
Oh, so it was The Sopranos.
It is. It's The Sopranos. Right at the last fight in the manga and in the anime, it just stops.
I was
It's
like,
black.
Aw.
You never know what happens.
You never know what happens.
I think. All right. So, a couple questions.
Yes.
The
No.
the last episode that we saw.
Yes.
She says, "My brother." Ichigo's dad.
Oh yes, that's right. Was that in the manga?
So it was later.
I think that was-
that was one of those things that was kind of like, why did you bring that in earlier? Because it was brought in later after.
Okay.
So it comes up. It's not much later that it comes up in the episode order at this point, but it was later.
But it is
I
Ichigo's
understand.
dad.
So is
Yeah, like,
Ishin?
well, uncle really like. So he is and I'm blanking her first name right now.
Oh,
she was,
The
Ganju and,
rocket lady.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. So he is their uncle.
Yes.
So they didn't. So they.
well, if he's their uncle, then
Well, yeah.
But on the dad's side or mom's side? I guess it'd have to be dad's side.
Well, so I think it is on the dad's side because then it goes into a few different relationship branches that they expand on too.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
what I think his name's Kyan, like Rukia's friend that got like holified way back when.
Oh yeah, Kaya and Shiba. Yes.
Yeah. So Kyan, like he's related to Kyan, which then you kind of like when you look at
So
if
it
you
wouldn't
watch
be
the anime,
so what's her face would not be his sister. It would be
No.
his cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, it's his so the Shiba.
They'd
Yeah,
be cousins.
Ganju and I feel bad for forgetting, but they're cousins of him.
Yeah.
And Kyan was his cousin.
I don't
too.
have my phone or I'd Google it.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, I have it. I'll look it up real quick.
Kukaku?
Shukaku. Thank you, Shukaku.
Shukaku?
Kukaku.
I think no, Shukaku. I think.
Shukaku?
Pretty sure Shukaku.
Kukaku?
I don't want to say the
Internet,
other
don't
word.
yell at me yet until.
Mention down in the comment if you know who we're talking about.
We'll just do
I'll
the
find out
Jeopardy.
right now.
We'll just do the Jeopardy music
you-
here. No, don't. We're gonna get copyrighted.
I'll change some notes around. It'll be fine.
While he's looking
Yeah,
that up.
sorry, it was Kukaku. I'm thinking Shukaku
Kukaku.
from like Naruto because the names are pretty close.
Kukaku.
Yeah, Kukaku Shiba.
Kukaku Shiba.
Indeed.
So she's Ichigo's cousin then.
Yeah, so she's
Okay.
Ichigo's cousin. Kyan is Ichigo's cousin, which obviously that's how you kind of get the close looks to everything.
I
at
will
that
say
point.
that I'm excited for this, and this is kind of spoiler, but not really because you kind of probably already think it's coming anyways. I'm looking forward to. They're going to do another flashback of the main character's past, and I'm looking forward.
Yeah,
to that.
that's what you were hinting to me last time, right?
I think so.
Why are you
Yeah.
trying to- why are you trying
No,
to-
no. Listen to
no,
this bull
that's all
crap.
I'm saying.
No,
That's
listen,
all I'm
listen
saying.
to this bull crap. I say they're about to leave. We're out in the kitchen, and I'm obviously begging at this point for any type of information with anything.
You're not allowed to know anything because then that's trolling. See, this is why your picture should be the troll, not mine.
So,
I'm not trying to be
I said-
torment you, but I just don't want to spoil it.
I understand, but I'm
I'm just
upset because
excited
there's
and
no
I'm having
hollow
a hard
mask coming
time
through,
containing
and I
myself.
want a hollow mask again because it was the most badass thing I saw out of him. But then he starts hinting and says, "Well, you might see something."
What the hell is wrong
in
with you?
the and
I just don't want him to be disappointed.
So-
You'll see something.
So here's the thing. I mean, his since you already mentioned, there's a flashback.
We're getting some backstory.
The
That's
flashback,
all I'm saying.
The flashback is important.
I'm looking
for,
forward
like,
to it.
Well, I'm looking forward to it too. It's important for two narrative parts of the story, so you really need to pay attention to it.
Oh yes, definitely.
In all honesty, like you mentioned, like the hints to him being a Quincy. Like if you ever look at his bed sheets, it's actually like the Quincy cross.
Really?
really.
Like Ichigo's bed sheet, yeah, like in earlier episodes. It's the Quincy cross on his bed sheets. I never paid that much attention to it.
I
until
never
looked
noticed
back.
that because
Yeah, but if you look back, like,
Ishida's thing that he had, the
Yeah.
chain
Yeah,
thing.
Ichigo's
I,
bed
th-
sheets,
I
like, in
did
some of
realize
the
that that was on his bed. I never,
I
put
never
two
put
and two
two
together
together
though.
either, though.
Yeah.
well, I mean, I
Noticed
had a hunch too when Aizen's like, because you're a human, a Shinigami, and blank, and then Ishin like interrupted it because like,
Yeah.
it's not time for him to change your powers and change.
Yes. Yeah.
The time will show up later.
Well, it's just kind of ridiculous to show like how powerful Ichigo is too. Like that he's part Shinigami, part Quincy, part
Chado.
human powers, whatever. Like he has his own spiritual pressure that was part of the Fullbring, although he doesn't
Well,
necessarily.
that was part of it.
He has
That
the
was really
top
his
layer.
hollow powers, really,
and then he
is
has
what it
hollow
was.
powers. Yeah.
Well, the Fullbring's still technically part of his like gear even later.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like. I don't know. I guess, what's this? Ginjao stole some of it? I don't know.
Well, he stole whatever shred Ichigo had brought back to the surface.
Right, yeah.
Like Ichigo couldn't tap into the depths of his power because he never recovered that much acid to do it.
I actually
Right.
liked the Fullbring arc.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was bad.
The only thing I didn't like about the Fullbring arc was dirty boots.
Like I didn't mind Dirty Boots that much because at least there's
like,
a
it was
story
just-
to it.
Why are you hating on Dirty Boots?
I don't know. It wasn't necessarily
See,
the
you
skill
and I
or the
differ,
ability.
like-
It's the fact that they couldn't come up with any better name than Dirty Boots.
But
It's
the
it's
I
Kubo.
mean, the backstory behind Dirty Boots is tragic though. Like literally, like
Right, yeah.
bloodshed is what awakened that power.
I know.
There was
Her-
literally
her-
blood on her boots.
Her loved one's blood was on her boots, and that's what awakened the power. You're like, that power sucks.
I'm just saying they could have come up with a better name or something like Crimson Boots or something like that.
I mean, maybe I guess if it had to be triggered by bloodshed, like she had to kick somebody in the face and get blood on it,
I
Crimson
don't
Boots
know.
would make sense, but
Nosebleed boots.
nosebleed boots. So
I'm
yeah,
just
she-
saying the fact that they
She
went
just
with
does this, and all of a sudden people get nosebleeds. Old man nosebleed in anime. Boom, Crimson Boots are activated. just have to find the old.
I also
you need to find a Master Roshi in the neighborhood, and then you can.
I did like out of the Fullbring arc though that like the Renji and everybody shows up and she's like I get more powerful the dirtier my entire outfit is now that I have part of Ichigo's power in me, and she's like covered in mud and she like kicks him and he's just like, okay.
Like, that's cool. You tried.
We had to fight Aizen, so you're. I'm sorry. He raised the bar a little higher than you.
It's like me. You're great for a human.
You're doing great.
You're better than Chad, but
Good job.
Hey, don't be hating on Shadow. Sato.
Poor Sato.
No, see, the only thing I didn't like about the Fullbring arc was Ichigo's final outfit because it's too weird of a Power Ranger suit.
I didn't like it either. It literally looked like the White Ranger.
It was
like,
definitely
damn,
odd.
Kubo, we're just ripping off Saban now.
Yeah. I did like the fact that he added all the like details and stuff with the white parts.
Hey, that's okay. Frieza looked like aliens or predators.
Yeah, Frieza had a lot of different like wardrobe changes if you think about it. So many changes.
So many.
Yes.
So what are we expecting out of the anime moving forward?
Well, basically a continuation of what we've been getting. A good balance of storytelling and adding more details that weren't in the manga, and like just keeping that good that solid infrastructure of the way the show is being developed.
I mean, I completely agree with you, man. Just like you can cut out the ridiculous crap as long as you're going to give me more of what I want.
Right? Yeah.
And do it in the right quantity. Like Ichigo Yuha fight, like they ended at the perfect point. We're like, I still want more, but they're like, we're not going to drag it out and make you hate it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
as long as they kind of keep that kind of pacing with the story, they're going to be good.
Yeah. And so far, they haven't done too many of like. Oh, they're, it's not like they went from, like, Old Man Yama about to, like, fight each other, and then all of a sudden the next episode was, like, some backstory that's going to take another 4 episodes before we get back to the fight.
They're not leaving you hanging with, like, a stupid cliffhanger. It's like, we're going to end it here, but at least it's like, I got what I wanted, and you're going to get more.
Yeah, there's still, like, that cliffhanger-y, like, oh, gosh, what's going to happen next?
Like,
but they're not like, oh, yep, sorry, we're just going to not talk about that. We're going to go back in the past now, and 20 episodes later, we'll get back to this fight.
Well, it's not Kishimoto's, like, anime or manga, so it's fine. We won't have, like, 5 episodes of flashback. Well, I appreciate they're not stopping where it's like Kenpachi and you're about to cross places. Like,
right, yeah.
Oh, end of the episode. No!
Yeah, I know. Oh, my
a little
gosh.
bit before the end.
Yes, yeah.
I hate the endings.
The ending of the anime?
No, like at the ending of the episodes,
I honestly love the ending.
Every single episode far, I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me.
They know
especially when you see, like the end credits and you just see the one sword in the stone, and you're like, doom, doom, doom. And you're like, that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, no, that is like honestly, it's not infuriating, but it is a little. No, it's a little infuriating because like, no, I want more.
It's less infuriating for you and me because we know it's coming, but like watching. Mike and Amanda,
like,
watching Mike and Amanda sit there like, no.
Well, I have the same damn reaction because I lose track of the time when the ending is like, I wanted to see more.
I wanted to see more. Where did it go? Why do you do this to me?
The only thing I dread is if like, and I know they're gonna have to do it because the holiday, but eventually there's gonna be like, we have a week break. It's like, no,
no,
because they'll do it right. You know what? It's probably gonna they're gonna go on like Christmas break right after the next episode where we're gonna do something really good.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be like, damn it, no.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah, like, and I wonder how they're gonna split up the next episode because
they moved to the next island in the
Oh, I do want to touch base on that too. Like, did you notice in the anime or in the manga, like when because they show like the Soul Palace and they show like the 5 islands.
Yeah.
What they changed from the manga that wasn't in the anime is that they added the ocean to Nehemiah's island. It wasn't in the manga.
Oh.
I love that little touch.
Huh.
And that's actually like something to pay attention to later. Seriously, it is amazing. It's very subtle and small, but it's so amazing. Not to try to dangle you, I'm sorry.
I know. Why is this happening every time?
Because you didn't read the manga, so now you have to suffer.
I'm going to the internet, not illegally.
Don't. The internet will ruin everything for you, and you'll be like, why did I go to the internet?
Why did I do that, dog?
Why? The internet's great for certain things, but it's just not.
Yes, I'm definitely excited. Well, I mean, we've already heard them say that they're moving to the next island in the Squad Zero, and they already said that the next guy that they're going to is the guy who made Zanpakuto.
But that's all they know. Like,
that's all you know.
Like, and that's the thing. Like when you find out everything about it, it's like
yes, we've got some exciting stuff coming.
It's gonna be amazing. Like you don't want to miss it. You know, if you have the privilege I do of working third shift, and then you can neener your friend because he saw it before you.
Oh, you're gonna neener so bad because I got a podcast to do tomorrow, so we're not watching it until Tuesday.
I won't neener you. Amanda's the one that started the neener war. You're saying
Neener war.
she started the neener war. If you're watching Amanda, you know what war you started. The neener war.
The neener war. For all of you who don't know, the neener
The
war
1,000-year neener war.
means that if you've watched it before the other person, you go neener. I watched it before you, and I'm excited about
you
it.
have no idea how emotionally like, saddening that was when you're like, oh, by the way, man, it said neener. It's like,
Neener.
the one time I couldn't watch it at 10 a.m. No. Like, it's not even a competition, but still, you want to watch it. God.
Why?
Is there anything else we wanted to touch
I
on
think
here?
that's pretty much it.
I
I think if we go any further, we're going to get too spoilers.
Right. Spoilers.
First, I want to say before we go, I actually just took notice to your shirt. I know you said it out there earlier, but
yes, it is Sauron playing with cats.
but the dead cats in the back is like
the dead cats.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing. It's like a laser pointer, but it's not a laser pointer you ever want to catch. I guess. You don't want to catch this laser pointer. You chase it for fun. You don't
chase
catch
it for fun. You don't catch it.
Otherwise, you may end up, laying in a bed of other cats.
A bed of other cats. Wow.
sounds horrible.
Getting dark again.
Well, in all fairness, it's a pile of cats.
All right, well, I think that's going to
note,
wrap it up here. Before we go, as always, like I said earlier, please, if you want to join our Patreon account, because we have some great exclusive content on there, and we might even have some exclusive content from this episode coming up there, too, as well. You can check out. And for everybody that didn't hear our little announcement show, and you can go back and check that out. I had blonde hair at the time, not anymore. We are going to we are going to do the Podcast of Madness exclusively on Patreon. So if you like the Podcast of Madness, all you have to do is tier at the $3 level. It's our cheapest level, and it might even get cheaper than that just to help out some people here. But we definitely want to make sure you guys are still sticking on. With that said, though, from each of those episodes, we're going to do little clip episodes of all the Patreon
little
episodes.
Snippets, yeah.
So little snippets of you guys to kind of hype that up and everything.
Show you
and
what it's all about.
make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Check out Collection of Gaming as well. We have more gaming content over there. Chris, thank you for joining us, my friend.
Well, thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the camaraderie.
The camaraderie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy hanging out. Hopefully, I managed to speak into the microphone correctly this time. Did not ruin it last time.
I think it was good.
I hope so.
Okay.
No. It's okay.
I'm leaving.
Everybody has a performance issue with their Mankai.
Hey, if you like that video, check the rest down below, and also subscribe to the channel over here, and check out more of our great content that we have, and check out all of our social media links linked in the description.
And also check out the Patreon link down below. It's real exciting.
Where did you come from?
My mother?